The Silent Watchers. The discovery that changed everything. Commander Sarah Chen floated in the observation deck of the research station Horizon's Edge, her eyes fixed on the swirling purple nebula beyond the reinforced glass. For 3 months, her team had been studying the mysterious energy signatures emanating from the cloud of cosmic dust, and tonight, something felt different. "Commander, you need to see this," called out Dr. Marcus Webb, his voice trembling with excitement or fear. Sarah couldn't tell which. She pushed off from the window, gliding through zero gravity to the main control console. The holographic display showed something impossible, a perfect geometric structure hidden deep within the nebula, pulsing with rhythmic energy that seemed almost alive. "What am I looking at?" Sarah asked, her hand instinctively moving to the communication device at her hip. Marcus tapped the screen, zooming in. "It's artificial, Commander. And according to these readings, it's been here for over 10,000 years." The weight of those words settled over the small research team like a blanket. Humanity had been exploring space for 2 centuries, reaching farther into the cosmos with each passing year, but they had never, not once, encountered evidence of alien intelligence. Until now. The structure awakens. Within hours, Earth's High Command gave authorization for a closer investigation. Sarah assembled her best team, Marcus on science, Lieutenant Jackson Rodriguez handling security, and Engineer Lisa Park managing the shuttle systems. As their small craft approached the structure, its true scale became apparent. It wasn't just a building or a station, it was a city suspended in space, its architecture defying every principle of human engineering. Towers spiraled upward in impossible angles, connected by bridges of crystallized energy that shifted colors like oil on water. "This is incredible," Marcus whispered, his scanner working overtime. "The material composition is unlike anything in our database. It's not metal, not organic, not mineral, it's all 3 and none of them at the same time." Lisa carefully guided the shuttle toward a large opening that looked like an entrance. As they drew closer, lights began flickering on throughout the structure, cascading from one section to another like awakening neurons in a vast brain. Commander?" Jackson's voice was tight. "I don't think we're alone anymore. First contact protocol." The shuttle's interior lights dimmed as external sensors were overwhelmed by a brilliant flash. When Sarah's vision cleared, she found herself staring at a holographic figure materializing in the center of their craft. It was humanoid but not human, tall and slender, with skin that seemed to shimmer between solid and translucent. Its eyes were large and dark, holding an intelligence that made Sarah feel simultaneously small and seen. "Greetings, humans," the figure spoke, its voice resonating directly in their minds rather than through sound. "We have been watching your species for a very long time." Marcus nearly dropped his scanner. Jackson's hand moved toward his weapon, but Sarah raised a hand to stop him. "Who are you?" Sarah asked, keeping her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We are the Keepers," the entity replied. "Guardians of knowledge, observers of civilizations. We have monitored thousands of species across millions of years. But you humans, you are different." The hologram gestured, and images began flowing around them, scenes of human history, from ancient tribes gathering around fires to the first steps on Earth's moon, to the construction of the station where Sarah's crew now stood. "Different how?" Sarah pressed. The Keeper's expression shifted into something that might have been a smile. "Most species we observe follow predictable patterns. They discover fire, invent writing, develop technology, and eventually either destroy themselves or achieve a state of peaceful stagnation. But humans..." The entity paused. "Humans are chaos incarnate. The test begins. You fight wars, then broker peace. You destroy your environment, then work frantically to save it. You create weapons capable of ending all life, then turn them into tools for exploration. You are contradictions walking upright, and this makes you dangerous." Jackson bristled. "Dangerous? We came here in peace, seeking knowledge." "Yes," the Keeper interrupted. "That is precisely what makes you dangerous. You seek knowledge with the passion others reserve for survival. You take impossible challenges and treat them as invitations. You look at the void of space and see not emptiness but potential. The hologram expanded, showing dozens of alien species, some insectoid, others reptilian, some that defied categorization. These civilizations all achieved spaceflight. They explored their local systems, perhaps even visited neighboring stars. But then they stopped, content with what they had learned, satisfied with their achievements. But humans? The Keeper's voice carried a note of something like respect. You reached your moon and immediately asked, "What's next?" You discovered nuclear energy and wondered if you could reach the stars with it. You found empty planets and dreamed of making them bloom with life. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. Are you saying we're being judged? Not judged, the Keeper corrected. Evaluated. The galaxy is vast, Commander Chen, but it is not infinite. Resources are limited. Space is claimed. And into this established order, your species comes crashing like a supernova, brilliant, chaotic, and utterly unpredictable. The challenge. The images around them shifted, showing vast fleets of ships, technologies beyond human comprehension, and worlds teeming with alien life. There is a galactic community, the Keeper explained. Species that have learned to coexist, to share resources, to maintain balance. They have rules, protocols, and a structure that has kept peace for millennia. And they are terrified of you. That's ridiculous, Marcus interjected. We haven't even met them yet. How could they fear us? Because we have shown them what humans are capable of, the Keeper replied simply. We have shown them your history, your wars, your resilience, your refusal to accept limitations. We have shown them how you turn disasters into opportunities, how you thrive in conditions that would break other species. The hologram focused on Sarah. So we have been tasked with administering a test. If humans can prove they are capable of restraint, of following rules, of fitting into the established order, you will be welcomed. But if you prove to be as chaotic and dangerous as the evidence suggests. The Keeper didn't need to finish the sentence. The implications hung in the air like a sword. What kind of test? Sarah asked, though part of her wasn't sure she wanted to know the answer. The Keeper's form began to dissolve. Return to your people, Commander. Prepare them. In 30 days, representatives from the galactic community will arrive at Earth. They will present a series of challenges, diplomatic, ethical, and practical. How humanity responds will determine not just your future among the stars, but whether you have a future at all. The return. As the shuttle made its way back to Horizon's edge, the 4 crew members sat in stunned silence. The weight of what they had learned pressed down on them like the gravity of a planet. They're afraid of us, Lisa finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. The entire galaxy is afraid of us. Can you blame them? Jackson replied, staring at his hands. We're barely 2 centuries into space exploration and we've already colonized 3 planets, built a dozen stations, and we're planning missions to other star systems. What will we be like in 1,000 years? 10,000? Marcus pulled up a data file. According to the readings I took, that structure has been watching us since the Bronze Age. They've seen every war, every atrocity, but also every act of kindness, every breakthrough, every moment of beauty we've created. Sarah looked out at the stars, her mind racing with possibilities and implications. In 30 days, Earth would face its greatest challenge, not survival against a hostile force, but proving they could be trusted with the keys to the galaxy. Set course for Earth, she ordered quietly. And somebody get me a secure line to the Secretary General. The future of humanity just became a lot more complicated. The trials of humanity. The arrival. 29 days later, the skies above Geneva transformed into a light show that would be remembered for generations. Ships appeared, not with the roar of engines or the flash of dramatic entry, but simply materializing as if they had always been there and only now chose to be seen. Sarah Chen stood on the observation platform of the newly constructed First Contact facility, watching as delegates from 47 different species descended to Earth. Each vessel was unique, Some were sleek crescents of silver that seemed to flow rather than fly, others were geometric impossibilities that hurt to look at directly, and some appeared to be living organisms navigating space through means humanity couldn't begin to comprehend. "It's really happening," breathed Ambassador Wei, the Secretary-General's chosen representative for the trials. A former diplomat who had negotiated the Mars Colony Accords, she was considered humanity's best hope for navigating the complex politics that awaited them. The Keeper materialized beside them, its form more solid than the hologram they had encountered in the nebula. "The Galactic Council has assembled. Are your people ready, Commander Chen?" Sarah wanted to say yes, wanted to project confidence, but honesty seemed more important now. "We'll never be completely ready. But we're willing to try." That attitude, the Keeper mused, is precisely what concerns them. Trial 1, the Refugee Crisis. The first challenge came within hours. The Council presented humanity with a scenario that was, terrifyingly, not hypothetical. A species called the Zephyr, insectoid beings with crystalline exoskeletons, had lost their homeworld to a stellar catastrophe. 3 million refugees floated in generation ships at the edge of human-controlled space, requesting asylum. The Council's lead representative, a being called Architect Vaughn from a species that resembled living stone, presented the parameters: you have resources to comfortably accommodate 50,000. The rest would strain your colony's life support, food production, and housing. How do you respond? Sarah watched the human delegation confer. Some argued for accepting only what they could support without risk. Others insisted they could make sacrifices, tighten rationing, and find a way to help more. Ambassador Wei surprised everyone. "We accept all 3 million. A ripple of reaction ran through the assembled aliens, some curious, others clearly alarmed. "That is impossible," Vaughn stated flatly. "You lack the infrastructure." "Today, yes," Wei agreed. "But give us 6 months. Humans have this particular talent for accomplishing impossible things when motivated. We'll convert cargo ships into temporary housing, accelerate the construction of our newest colonies, and yes, we'll ask our people to sacrifice shorter rations, crowded conditions, and harder work. Because that's what you do for people in need." A being that looked like flowing water contained in an invisible form spoke up, its voice like wind chimes. "But what of the cost to your own people? The potential resentment? The social strain?" Ambassador Wei smiled. "We'll throw a party. Seriously. We'll call it the Galactic Welcome Festival. We'll teach the Zephyr about human culture, learn about theirs, create fusion cuisines, share music, and build something new together. Humans don't just survive hardship, we make it into an opportunity for connection." The Keeper leaned towards Sarah. "Notice how they react. Some admire the compassion. Others see it as dangerous instability, the willingness to destabilize your own society for outsiders." Trial 2, the Forbidden Technology. The second challenge was more insidious. A council representative presented humanity with detailed plans for a technology that could extend human lifespan by centuries, technology the council had banned millennia ago. This device, explained a serpentine being with scales that shifted through colors, was deemed too dangerous. "It requires immense energy, harvested from living stars. Civilizations that pursued it inevitably drained their suns, leading to system-wide catastrophes. The plans were made available to Earth's top scientists." Sarah watched as humanity faced its most difficult test, the willingness to refuse knowledge. For 3 days, Earth's scientific community debated furiously. The technology was real, achievable, and offered something humans had dreamed of since the first person watched a loved one age and die. Dr. Marcus Webb, who had been part of Sarah's original contact team, addressed the council directly. "We want this. God, we want this so badly. Imagine the knowledge that could be accumulated in a 1,000-year lifetime. The skills, the relationships, the experiences." He paused, and Sarah saw the pain in his eyes. He had recently lost his wife to a degenerative disease. "But we've learned something important in our history," Marcus continued. "Just because we can do something doesn't mean we should. We split the atom and nearly destroyed ourselves. We mapped the human genome and had to resist the temptation to create perfect designer babies. We developed artificial intelligence and chose to put limitations on it rather than pursue its fullest potential. He looked around at the assembled aliens. You banned this technology for good reason. Yes, we could probably find a safer way to implement it. Humans are excellent at optimization. But the fundamental principle is flawed. Energy should come from renewable sources, not from killing stars. We refuse this knowledge. The chamber erupted in discussions across dozens of languages and communication methods. Trial 3, the impossible choice. The final trial was the cruelest. The council presented a scenario: a human colony ship and an alien vessel, the Life, a peaceful species of telepathic beings, were both caught in the gravity well of a collapsing wormhole. Only one ship could be saved. The other would be lost with all hands. The human ship carried 500 colonists, including families and children. The Life vessel held 200 individuals, but the council revealed that the life species was endangered. Only 10,000 remained in the entire galaxy. Choose, Architect Vaughn commanded. And know that we will be judging not just your decision but your reasoning. The human delegation went silent. Sarah felt the weight of the moment. This was a test where no answer felt right. Captain Okoye, the head of Earth's Space Defense Force, stood up. With respect, Architect Vaughn, I refuse the premise of your question. The chamber stilled. You're asking us to place a quantitative value on life, Okoye continued, her voice steady and strong. To weigh 500 against 200, or common species against endangered ones. But that's not how humans work, at least, not at our best. She activated a holographic display. Here's what we would actually do: we'd contact both ships. We'd explain the situation honestly. Then we'd ask for volunteers, people willing to take shuttles or escape pods, reducing the mass of both vessels. We'd push both ships' engines beyond safety limits. We'd probably sacrifice the rescue ship itself if it meant getting both crews to safety. That's irrational, one of the council members objected. Maybe, Okoye agreed. But it's human. We don't accept impossible choices. We change the rules, break the system, and find a third option that everyone else says doesn't exist. Will it always work? No. People will die trying. But they'll die knowing that we didn't give up on anyone. The verdict. After 12 hours of deliberation, the council reconvened. Sarah stood with the human delegation, exhausted but oddly at peace. They had shown who they were: chaotic, compassionate, stubborn, and creative. The Keeper stepped forward to deliver the judgment. The Galactic Council has reached a decision, it announced. Humanity is denied membership. Sarah's heart sank. Around her, the delegation tensed. However, the Keeper continued, you are granted something else. Humanity is hereby designated as a catalyst species. You will not join the Council as members. Instead, you will serve as advisors, troubleshooters, and provocateurs. Architect Vaughn spoke up, its stone-like face unreadable. In 10,000 years, our civilization has become stable, perhaps too stable. We have eliminated war, poverty, and suffering. But we have also eliminated innovation, passion, and growth. We have achieved peace by avoiding challenges, not by overcoming them. The water being flowed forward. You humans showed us something we had forgotten, that compassion sometimes means taking risks. That knowledge has value only when tempered by wisdom. That impossible choices sometimes exist because we lack imagination. Your species is dangerous, the Serpentine Council member added. Dangerous to complacency, to despair, to the acceptance of limitations. And that is precisely what the galaxy needs. A new beginning. 3 months later, Sarah found herself aboard a joint human-alien vessel heading toward a crisis in the Kepler sector. A civil war between two species had been locked in stalemate for 50 years, with the Council unable to negotiate a resolution. Why us? Lieutenant Jackson asked, checking his equipment. Unlike before, He now worked alongside a Zephyr security officer and a carry weapons specialist. Because we're unpredictable, Sarah replied, smiling. They've tried logic, they've tried diplomacy, and they've tried economic sanctions. Now they're trying something they've never used before, hope. Marcus appeared on the comm screen from his new position at the Joint Human-Zephyr Research Station. Remember what the Keeper told you before we left Earth? Sarah nodded, recalling the conversation. The Keeper had explained that every species the Council had encountered had evolved to fit their environment. Humans were unique, they evolved to change their environment to fit them. Most species look at a problem and adapt themselves to it, the Keeper had said. Humans look at a problem and adapt it to themselves. You don't accept the universe as it is, you persistently, stubbornly, irrationally work to make it what you think it should be. This makes you dangerous, yes. But it also makes you exactly what a stagnant galaxy needs. As their ship dropped out of FTL near the Warring Worlds, Sarah stood on the bridge, surrounded by a crew from a dozen different species, about to attempt something the ancient and wise Galactic Council had deemed impossible. She smiled. Let's go show them what humans do best. What's that? Jackson asked. The impossible, Sarah replied. With style.